Hey guys, it's Spider Pig, and today we're going to talk about a topic that I might be a little bit obsessed with. So it kind of started maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember I had my eye on this AR Parrot drone, and this Parrot drone back in the day. One of the things that got me interested in it was that it had an SDK, which is a software development kit that you could program for it, and it was sold at the Apple Store, sold at Best Buy, at a lot of different places. I think it was a $300 drone at the time, and it was really awesome. So one year, I think it was around, I'll say about March or April of that year, we had just got our bonuses from work, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. So I got myself an AR Parrot, and it could fly both indoors and outdoors. Indoors, it had this like hull that you put on there, protected from the walls, and it had two cameras, a forward-facing one and a downward-facing one, and it was a pretty cool drone for its day. And I really enjoyed it. I did create a program for it. Initially, when I first got it, the program did not have two essential things I think every pilot needs to know, which is the altitude and the speed. It did not have that, so I wrote a program that put that in. Also, in my program, had the ability to do all these funky maneuvers that I could do, like forward flip, backwards flip, all this kind of cool stuff. So I flew that for quite a bit of time, for about 2 or 3 years, and I kept developing on the app, and eventually they did put that in their app as well. The problem with the AR Parrot, and the reason why it broke, I won't say very often, but maybe once every 5 flights, is the way that you communicated with it. You used your iPhone at the time, and iPhones back then, about 4 or 5 years ago, they weren't as good Wi-Fi wise as they are today. I think the standard was, I forget what it was, but there's A, B, C, G, and N. So it wasn't that good. So occasionally what would happen was the drone would get out of range and there'd be some sort of interference, and there wasn't any fail-safe on the drone itself to tell it, hey, I don't have a signal, I should land or I should do something, and it would just shut off its engines and drop down. So that ended up with a couple crashes here and there, and the cameras weren't stabilized on it at all, so you got kind of a shaky picture. I know a lot of people had modded it so you could use it with an RC controller. I didn't do that with mine. I just kept the Wi-Fi. I found that it flew better with the iPad because the iPad didn't have better Wi-Fi with it. But after a couple of years, I've repaired it so many times that it wasn't really flyable as much. And not only that, but with the props, you had to kind of there was a way to balance them correctly, which you should do with all props anyway. But it was really interesting because like you used to have to like hook them up to like a device and heat them up and stuff like that. And if you didn't, what would happen was if you tried to hover, it would hover there and then just go whoop, whoop, like that. Like it would have these little spurts that it would do, and it was kind of annoying. And again, when I flew the Parrot, I didn't really think of it as a photography tool. I just was kind of cool. Hey, I can get a video out of this. I thought that was pretty neat. I could take pictures. There were some games you could do with it. Like if you had like the specific color coordination, you can do augmented reality games, which was kind of cool for its technology back in the day. So since then, I haven't been flying the AR Parrot very much. I've bought drones, very small drones on and off for years now. I probably have a bad habit with it, I would say. One of my favorite drones up till now, and I have to highly recommend this one, and I'm not getting paid for it, but it's the Millennium Falcon. And the reason I love this drone so much is because it is indestructible. I mean, like, I let my young daughter fly this thing, and it gets banged up so much, but it still flies. It has a very simple controller. It's got a really simple controller. It does have like cool lights on and things like that, lights up, sound effects. Like if I just want a fun flight, this is kind of a quick fun flight. It flies indoors. I wouldn't fly this outdoors at all, but it is a fun thing to fly. Of course, being a quadricopter that's all manual flying, when it takes off, the more power it has, the more yaw you got to put to it to kind of compensate for it, which I think is what my daughter has problems with. But still, it's tons of fun to fly. And there's actually like a bigger, huger version of this that just came out. I think it's like $300. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's worth $300. I love Star Wars, and I already pre-ordered my ticket for Rogue One, but I don't think I'd pay $300 for a bigger version of this. I saw some YouTube videos of people flying it, and like, it didn't seem that kind of cool, especially since, you know, you can get some really nicer drones for $300. So recently, maybe I want to say half a year ago, I was watching the GoPro keynote for their Karma drone, and they got me thinking about drones again and wanting to fly drones again, bigger drones. And the Karma was kind of really neat design. It's basically like in a backpack. You can take it with you when you go to different places. And it kind of, there's a stabilization camera that you can actually take out. And you can use that as a stabilization thing, which is cool. And it got me thinking about it, and you know, started looking into it a little more. And then DJI came out with their Mavic Pro, and I was like, wow, it's even smaller, and even smaller than the Karma. And it has all the intelligent flight modes from DJI that came with it, and I was really excited. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to get. And plus, DJI is kind of known for drones, and they're great drones to fly. So I pre-ordered the Mavic, and today is today's December 3rd. I want to say, take a look here. Today's December 2nd, and I still haven't gotten it yet. So it's still in a waiting list, which is typical for now. I guess that's been delayed for quite a bit of time. But, you know, with the Mavic, you really get a really nice drone with a lot of capabilities, like a lot of intelligent capabilities. And there's also things about the DJI, like it has fail-safes built in. So if you lose the signal, it knows to come back. You tell it to come back and land. You know, if you're running out of battery power, it'll come back and, you know, land. It's really intelligent. And so, you know, I read the manual, the Mavic manual many times. I've watched all the videos. I've done all the research I can. But I'm still waiting. So recently there was Black Friday, and DJI had their sale, and I might have bought another drone. So while waiting for the Mavic, I bought a DJI Phantom 3 Standard, and this baby right here. And you know, I figured it was a good place to start because the Mavic Pro has a lot of features that's normal from DJI. But I don't really know. I've never flown DJI aircraft before, so I kind of wanted to learn. And the Standard is kind of the low of the low, and so I'd have to learn how to fly it and kind of learn how to do everything before I can work on my way to the Pro level. So this came in on Monday. Today is Friday, and Monday, you know, I had to take my daughter to dance class, so, you know, I charged everything up, I calibrated everything, and I took it with me to her dance class, and I had the propellers off like I do here, and I did the IMU calibration, and then I took it outside to put in my car. I'm like, you know what, let's take it for a quick flight. The parking lot was a little dark, but I mean, it was enough light that I could do a quick flight, so I did a quick flight. I did about 3 minutes total that night, and we'll just cut to a video of me flying it on the first day. So the first flight I did, it was outside this dance studio, and I just kind of wanted to, you know, check out the features, so I just kind of took off. Initially I took off, I was closer to my car. There's the blue car, and I noticed that the wind was affecting it next to the building, so I kind of moved a little further on the parking lot. I was just kind of testing out, you know, how everything flies. I was still in beginner mode. As you can see, I'm kind of panning around just to test out. Not the best footage because it is dark, but I was kind of really happy with the tracking of how it kind of, you know, stabilized and everything. It was pretty cool. I did get it up, I think, to 36 feet. It was in beginner mode, so I didn't want to take it too high, and it was dark, so I didn't really want to do too many crazy things. And you know, I was just kind of really testing it out, how she flew. I
didn't know what to expect at this point of how it was gonna fly. Over here, I started doing just a quick circuit, basically flying out and then turning around, flying back in. Kind of what you would do, flight simulator. If you're learning how to fly a plane, you just kind of flew some circuits, and then I was just kind of testing, just getting close, and then landing. I did use the automated landing the first time, just to kind of test it out, see how it does. I think I'm going to stay away from the automated takeoff and landings. I think I'll be fine just flying it myself. So that was the first night.
All right, so that was the first flight, 3 minute flight, very quick. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Um, Tuesday and Wednesday it was raining, and I couldn't do anything with the flight with the drone. And so Thursday came around, and Thursday it was going to be pretty cloudy. I mean, it's not too bad. But the problem is because we're getting closer to winter, it gets to be darker a lot quicker. So I work usually till 4. By the time I get home, it's usually dark. So I decided to get to work early, leave early. So I got home around 4ish on Thursday, and I flew it in front of my house. And I live in a townhouse community, so it was a little windy that day. But overall, we had about a 20-minute flight, I want to say. So it was a pretty good flight. And we'll just cut to a video of me flying that.
So started up by trying to do this reveal shot. It's my first kind of attempt of any kind of photography skills, and I was trying to kind of reveal the church in the background there, with the houses in the forefront. Probably the most artistic thing I did that day. Then I tried to do the cool kind of panning shot, manually, kind of flying on myself. As you can see, I still need a lot of work with that, and it's gonna take some time to get used to like the side movement and the moving of the yacht, just to keep the camera focused on one object, which was me at this time. I think the wind didn't help either, so it was a really kind of a good testing ground. Then I did a little speed test. I think I got up like 17 miles an hour that run because it was on beginner mode. Then I tried to follow my daughter, and it didn't go as well as I expected. Again, I think I need to kind of tone down my movements a little bit. I think I need to kind of learn how to control it just a little less. I tried playing with the gimbal as far as bringing it down to kind of keep track of her. As you can see, she runs away as usual. Then my neighbor came home, so I decided, hey, let's stalk my neighbor for a sec while he's getting out of his car. You could see, how much it's moving just because of the wind. I mean, I was not touching it all, and it's just moving a little bit like that. So it was pretty nice. And then me and my neighbor talked a little bit, and my daughter jumped in front of the camera a whole bunch of times because that's what kids do. I'm surprised she didn't get hurt by that thing. I mean, she got pretty close a couple times. And then I went to my backyard and kind of figured I could do a little more speed test there. I think because beginner mode again, I got up to 18 miles an hour. I kind of like the low shot. As you can see at the edge there, that's where kind of beginner mode kind of stopped me. And then I kind of came back, and there's me. But again, I kind of like flying low. I think it was a pretty cool shot, the way it looked. And then I tried to do kind of a side, just kind of reveal, see the houses and see how that looked. And again, I got to work on this photography skills, just to make it look a little nicer. And then I decided to do a little height test to see how high I can get. I didn't want to take it too high just because it was windy. That's pretty much what I did.
So that was that flight, and it was really kind of nice to see. Even in heavy wind, it was able to kind of, handle itself pretty well. So I was really happy with it, and I was doing pretty good. So Thursday night, there's a Apple users group I belong to, and in the December meeting, we always have kind of like what I want for the holidays kind of showcase. So I brought my drone with me, and it's indoors, and at first, there's too many people there because the church that we have it at, they're having the Nutcracker performance by the dance group there that runs it. So I kind of waited till the end of the night when there's less people there, and then I decided to take it for a spin to show off to the group. Now, being indoors, I didn't have a GPS signal, so I had to fly it manual, and it was my first time flying manual, but since I've had experience with flying drones, and I also have the Great Plains Real Flight drone simulator as well. So I kind of had, I knew what to expect. And so I was able to fly it and give the guys a good show. And we'll cut to the video of me doing that.
So basically off beginner mode and manual mode, I was kind of flying it. I had to pay a lot more attention to fly it because I think the GPS wasn't saving me at this point. So, you know, I was able to kind of just do flybys on the nice folks at the Apple users meeting. It was definitely a good time. They definitely enjoyed it. There's Nancy. I was talking with her. She owns a farm, so she's talking to me about, you know, coming to do some drone work on the farm. And of course, they got a little very close to the camera a lot of times. And I tried again to do the panning shots. I still need to work on it. I need to maybe change my sensitivity to make it a little easier for me. And then some people got their cameras out, so I decided to, you know, have a little fun with them, and you know, get some good footage for them. I might see if I can link the pictures or the video that they took in the description below if I can find it. But everybody had a good time, and we ended up having a good meeting, and try not to scare too many of the other people there.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. It was manual mode, and the thing was I also flew it for the first time out of the beginner's mode, which the beginner's mode kind of locked you into certain things, and because I had to fly it manually, I couldn't be in beginner's mode. So today is Friday, and I wanted to kind of test it out at a park where there's more room, and I can kind of just explore. I was looking to check out some of the autonomous modes as well, and so I worked from home in the afternoon, and as soon as you know, I got done work, we went to a park. I took my daughter with me, and I tested it out. It was very, very windy today, so in the video you'll see we had anywhere from 8 to 16 mile per hour winds, and the drone itself handled beautifully. Overall, you know, I think I probably could have flown it better if it was with calmer winds, but overall I think she flew pretty nicely. So let's take a look at some of the footage.
Alright, so we're at the park with my daughter who's holding a camera and her friend, and again I was trying to do some pan shots. I think because of the wind, I don't know if it's the wind or just me not getting used to the controls. You know, I'm still working on it, so it's a work in progress. And there's my daughter again. I tried to play a little bit with the gimbal and kind of, you know, learning how to use it. I think I need to be a little smoother with it. I wasn't expecting it to be kind of I was expecting it to be more mechanical. It's more of a soft kind of thing. So I went a little high there. I think the highest I got on this flight was around 160 feet off the check, but you can see we're at the park. Kind of panned around there. I need to figure out how to slow the panning shots. I obviously, you know, I just was kind of looking around, but I do want to kind of learn to do that. Now I tried the automatic modes with the DJI app, and you can see it did this kind of weird thing where it did kind of follow me, but then like I'm nowhere in the shot in here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So it didn't really do a good job at following me or keeping me in the frame. And I don't know exactly if I did it correctly, so I'm going to look into that and kind of figure out if there's something I did. Then, you know, I was just playing around with my kids, with my daughter and her friend, and kind of flying around them and trying to get some, you know, sunset shots with them, things like that. Me flying into the sunset, me buzzing my daughter again. So it was fun. Here's a little speed test I did. I think I got up to 27 miles an hour. It was pretty fun. It's pretty cool to see it. I did get a little bit of interference in the park because of the power line, so I didn't go too far away. Again, me trying the panning shot again. I'm no expert at it, so keep in mind this was the first time I had this out in the park, and I think it's one of the skills I do need to practice on, and hopefully there'll be less windy days that I can do that with. And again, me buzzing my daughter here, because it's always fun to buzz your kids, and you know. And, so she had a good time with it, and I kind of flew over them, and me again trying to do some pan shots, just trying to get a little better. I mean, like looking at them. So then I had my daughter and her friend just walk and see if I can kind of track them. I think I also need to kind of work on that as well, and just to get a little better at it. I think just not to be so jittery and to be a little smoother. I think they'll just come with time and more practice. So you know, it kind of end up being alright, but you know, if I edit it nicely. Also, none of these are post-processed as far as video goes. I just dropped it into a Premiere at this point. I'll have to learn how to do it. So now I used the Litchi app, and I wanted to kind of test the follow mode, and I couldn't get it to follow. Apparently, you're supposed to be able to click on somebody and just get them follow. So I told it to follow the controller, and it didn't really do what I expected to. I expected to fly a little closer to me, but it didn't do that. But it did pan correctly with me. So in that respect, it did work. I will definitely have to look at the Litchi app and the DJI app to see again how to make these things work correctly. The exposure lock was a little off on it, and it did fix itself later on, but I did notice that as well, that the exposure was a little bit off. But again, I'm new to this, and I'm just learning how to use all the modes. I'll figure out the photography stuff when I can. Then I decided to do a nice little sunset shot, so I took it up a little high. I think I got up to 160, and I just kind of wanted to, see the sunset. And I ended up just taking a shot of this, one picture of it, and then I put it back into the DJI app again, and kind of took it down nice and slow for the effect. I figured, maybe even reverse this and making kind of a cool sunset shot. But
so there you go. Overall, it's been a great kind of learning how to fly this DJI model here. The standard, I would highly recommend it to anybody who wanted to get into the drone flying industry. And I'm looking forward to calmer winds and hopefully being able to fly a little better. And I want to get better with my flying. I mean, that's my goal right now. I'm working more on the flying part than the photography part. Once I get better with the flying part, I definitely want to learn how to take better photography with it, better film, better capture, just get better with that aspect of it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know the Mavic's got a lot of cooler features that I'll be able to use. So there you have it. I know this video is a little long, but hopefully you enjoy your drones as much as I do, and I'll keep flying, and I'll keep posting videos for you. Let me know in the comments below if this is what you want to see on this channel. If not, I can start a new channel just for my drone stuff. So just let me know. All right, have a good one.